Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bill Levinson, managing partner with Levinson and Associates. With me today, we have Joseph Loughran, our marketing VP, and Scott Barnes joining us as our official guest speaker. Okay, so we have some great stuff to talk about. I know you've seen our marketing by now about today's presentation. And I just want to discuss a couple hot takes here before we jump in. I think it's so important for everyone to understand the reason why we wanted to have today's presentation with Scott and Sagicor is because, A, we have only a handful of direct IMO contracts, so there's no type of MLM marketing, or you're not making a 40% commission and there's 20 hands in the pot, number one. Number two, Sagicor is very unique. They're one of our core carriers for a reason, and as you know, we're very into technology and very innovative. So they are one of the only carriers, okay, and just listen to this for a minute, and I don't want to take any of Scott's thunder, but I think it's so exciting. So you can actually write the term GUL or IUL up to $1 million with their e-application online and get let's say a decision or approval, right, if there's no red flags, in anywhere from 2 minutes to 24 hours, okay? And 35% of the approvals are done in 2 minutes. So if you think about that, and that, by the way, that's not just some overpriced non-med term product. That's one of the most competitive term products, fully underwritten or non-med, out of everything there is out there, that you'll have a decision on in 2 minutes with no exams or anything, as long as there's no red flags, all the way up to $1 million, term, GUL, and IUL, folks. That is freaking awesome, and that's one of the huge reasons why we partnered up with A-minus rated Sagicor. Okay, good stuff here. Their system works great. They have a new wealth care product that is a single premium life product that has long-term care or living benefits, I should say, built in. Okay, the product was mainly designed to compete against the Equitrust single premium product. Comp is phenomenal, and this is my favorite part, full liquidity day one. So if that client changes their mind after day one, full return of premium, no questions asked. If I was an agent in today's day and age, I would be marketing that product all over the place, because there's nothing to lose for the client. If they change their mind, they can get out. There's no surrender fees, no penalties, no questions asked. And again, Scott's going to dive in deeper. I didn't want to take his thunder away, but I want everyone to pay attention today, because with Sagicor's new platform, you have so much to talk about. And they're one of 10 scholarship approved carriers here at Levinson. So what that means, you sell a Sagicor product, one free scholarship up to 1 year tuition at any of our 400 colleges across the country. And if you're selling Sagicor already and you have prior policies that are in force, they are also eligible for the 1 year tuition. So you can go back and say, hey, I have a great reason to revisit with you, right? To open the door back up to other products and opportunities or referrals. So just think about this as we move forward with the presentation. Okay, also what we're going to go over, there's a 15% bonus with Sagicor on the sale of the IUL or GUL product. Okay, that's now running until the end of June. They'll probably extend it again, but that is huge. That means at a regular street level commission, you're making way over 100% comp on a permanent product, which again is priceless, and all the technology and the scholarship program. So there's great stuff to talk about. And you say to yourself, oh, the comp must be horrible. It's probably, 40%. No, they have one of the top paying products and commission schedules in the industry. So a lot of good stuff here. And I know I'm getting a little excited, but I hope you all understand and start to use this in your everyday sales life, because there's a lot of sizzle here. Okay, Joe, if we can mute all lines, let's jump right in here. I want everyone paying close attention. And the reason why, At the end of today's presentation, we're going to give away a free Amazon Echo or the new Amazon Fire tablet. All you have to do is be the first one to answer our webinar question, which I'm going to ask at the end of the presentation, okay? And the question has to do with one of the slides that we're going over for the next 45 minutes. So pay close attention. Okay, real quick, this is the Bill Levinson Experience podcast. I launched this in the early part of 2019. It's been just over a year now, and it's been so awesome. And the reason why, it was designed with you all in mind. There's so many agents that call us and say, oh my gosh, Bill, I want to use your premium finance program, or I have a life settlement and I want to pick someone else's brain that's already doing this and they're successful at it. Well, as you know, because of certain privacy clauses and regulations, we cannot just share an agent's phone number with you, okay? Just like we wouldn't do to you. So what I decided to do is once a month, pick a great guest speaker, okay? A handful of some of our top agents. We have Gary Vaynerchuk. We have the Forbes 400 Jeff Levitetz, who happens to be my mentor. We have the owner of Insurance Newsnet magazine was featured, the owner of Legacy Armor, the owner and founder of iPipeline. Okay, I spoke to him for an hour. There's some great episodes here. My latest episode was with Jorge Soler, okay, who's a professional baseball player. He played in the 2016 Chicago Cubs World Series. He now plays for the Kansas City Royals, and he has the official American League home run record in the 2019 season. The guy's an animal, 27 years old. That's him in the top left corner. I sat down with him last week for 1 hour to talk all about inspiration and motivation and discipline and what it takes to play at his level. And you say to yourself, well, Bill, what does baseball and an insurance agent have in common? Okay, the answer is nothing. Okay, but what we all have in common is that same strive to be number one, to go out there every day, no matter what's going on in your personal life, and perform like a major league player, right? It doesn't matter if it's baseball or insurance. We're all trying to go out and do the best we can, no matter what's going on in our outside lives. And this is a great story with him growing up in Cuba with nothing. I mean, they didn't know where they were going to get their bread, water, and meat from, okay? Forget air conditioning and cars to drive around when you're 16. So it is a really cool story, and it puts things into perspective, at least for me. So check it out when you get a chance. We're launching it this week. Also, I want to mention this. So for next month, what I did, see, we have a lot of agents that come to us and they say, Bill, I love all your technology, but I can't get my arms wrapped around, the social media or using the CRM tool and e-blasting to my prospects and clients. I just don't get it. And they'll say to us a lot, hey, I'm 67 years old and I've been doing this forever and I'm not going to change now. I've been using a yellow pad and a legal pad for the last 29 years, and that's the way I'm always going to do business. Okay, well, what I wanted to do for the next episode was handpick one of our top MDRT agents. His name is Wally, and Wally is over 70 years old, and the guy is out there today crushing it. In fact, he's on this webinar right now. The guy crushes it. And what's so neat, and this is why I wanted him to share his story, is yes, he's MDRT. Yes, he's also Series 6, 7 licensed on the fixed and variable side, and he's using all of our technology. He's using Agency Automator, Legacy Safeguard. He has his website up and running with Insure Me Now Direct. He's driving traffic. He's sending out monthly e-blasts to all of his clients and prospects, and he's getting a ton of referrals and new sales because of it. So the point is, it doesn't matter if you're 17 or you're 92. There is no expiration date. The bottom line is, if you want to maintain and grow your practice, you have to leverage A, website, and B, social media at the very minimum. Okay, it's the only way you're going to be able to grow, because what's going to happen, and it's no secret, the young hotshot agent at a high school or college They know social media and they have a following, and it's just a matter of time before they get their message in front of your clients and prospects. And wouldn't that be a shame? So if anything, look at it like a defensive play. You have to be out there at the very minimum. Have your son, daughter, grandchild help you with the basics, okay? We have these trainings every single day at 2 p.m., and we put these webinar trainings together for you to make sure you're comfortable. So the whole point with Wally as next month's guest speaker was to have someone you all can relate to. So it's not just hearing it from me and hearing me preach on these webinars. No, you're hearing it from an agent that is just like you. Okay, so Wally's up next, and I'm so excited about his presentation. You're going to see the email blast on him coming up next month. Also, for those of you that say, oh, I don't know how to listen to these podcasts, okay, it's very easy. Either A, find your favorite podcast channel. If it's through Apple iTunes, great. Spotify, great. Stitcher, great. If it's YouTube, great. It's all free. Or you can even just go to our website and click on the podcast channel, and you're in. You can listen to all the different episodes. We have some great guest speakers, and I know everyone will walk away with some great, great information. Okay, moving forward here. What I want to talk about is our biggest event of the year, okay? We have a few hundred people on today, and I hope everyone is going to be at our April 3rd Expo. And by the way, Sagicor is one of our core carriers. They are presenting that Friday as well, so you're going to hear more. You'll get to meet Scott and probably Laura face-to-face. And I want to just discuss a few things. If you've been to these in the past, great. This is going to be totally different, totally unique. Okay, for you. It was built for you all. And the reason why, A, we have the top insurance coach in the world, bar none, Joe Ross. He's our keynote. He's going to speak for 1 hour about new conversations and different ways to get in the door to ultimately make the insurance sale and help your clients. So he's going to spend 1 hour with all these new sales strategies, ideas that will help you open more doors. Very important stuff. We also hand-picked an elite group of Levinson agents we're going to have sitting up on a panel, and it will give you a chance to ask questions, okay? Going back to the whole reason for the podcast is a chance for you to ask other successful agents the right questions so you can learn and grow and pivot. So we're going to have Joe Ross, an awesome keynote you've never heard before. In fact, it's the first time he's ever spoke about this. Number 2, our elite agent panel, where you'll get to ask questions to some of our top agents across the country. And we have new carriers. We have our new $500,000 instant decision direct-to-consumer term that we're launching on that day. It is going to be awesome. I can't wait, and I hope to see you all there. And if you're not, please come see me after, and I'd like to know face-to-face what you were upset about, because I know everyone's going to love April 3rd. Register now, by the way. Okay, Joe's going to talk about all of our non-med carriers and our spreadsheet and how Sagicor stands apart. Joe, you there?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So what you're looking at right now is kind of a actual preview of a web page that's on levinsonandassociates.com. Everyone today will get an email with that link, but we basically highlight all the top non-med carriers in the industry and constantly update this so that you can actually look at all the top carriers and the underwriting niches. You'll see Sagicor there up to $1 million up to age 65. Awesome platform. Very quick, very fast, very easy. The best part is it's completely integrated with the entire Levinson website. So as soon as you log in, you go right to our quote engine. You'll be able to actually dive in, enter all the information about your client, and see quotes in real time. You'll see here a sample quote we ran just earlier today, a 45-year-old male. It's a 10-year term for $250,000. Sagicor there right at the top, extremely competitive. In fact, most of these other carriers you're looking at have some rather lengthy underwriting processes that we would rather probably not go through. So why not take advantage of that accelerated underwriting program? You can basically click the apply button right on this simple quote engine. It brings you right into the e-application. You click start e-app. You walk through the entire process. Very simple, very easy, start to finish. And you can, again, do that right from levinsonandassociates.com. in my opinion, one of the fastest, easiest ways to do that e-app, whether it's over the phone or face-to-face with a client, using that 2-minute offer program is just huge from Sagicor. We're going to hear a little bit more about that from our guest speaker today. But diving in a little bit deeper, one thing that's very, very important, we actually mentioned this in a couple of the emails that were sent out, is some of the hot incentives that Sagicor has right now, a 15% bonus on that IUL product or the no lapse UL that's running all the way through the middle of the year. But we see this with Sagicor multiple times each year, so keep your eyes peeled. They've got some awesome incentives that gets paid directly to you from the insurance carrier. So as soon as you place that case, very quick, very fast commissions directly from Sagicor, and you'll get that extra 15% commission bonus. So a great way to kind of test out some of their products and programs. The no lapse UL is extremely competitive. If you have a GUL or even IUL that you're looking to run, when you talk to our marketing team, ask them to throw in Sagicor. It's probably going to be one of the more competitive products. And of course, being able to do the entire process without a paramed exam is definitely kind of an added little bonus there. So really, really excited about those products. And you're going to hear some great stuff today as we kind of dive into some additional details.
Okay, good stuff, Joe. So yes, take advantage. All right, real quick, I'm going to introduce Scott Barnes, our regional sales manager from Sagicor, who's going to dive in a little deeper. Make sure you're paying attention. Don't forget about the question at the end of today's presentation. Scott, you there, buddy?
Yes, sure am.
Okay, great.
Well, thank you very much, Bill. Yeah, I really appreciate it, and I'm always impressed by the amount of support and resources that you provide to all the agents out in the field, and we really appreciate the partnership that you have with us, and we look forward to continuing to work with you this year and can't wait for the April 3rd meeting as well. So what I wanted to do is go to our product, WealthCare. It is a single premium index universal life solution. So it is somewhat unique. Again, as Bill mentioned, it is similar to the Equitrust product. There's also, I believe, a few others that are out there that offer something similar. But this is a really great solution. It is sort of pivoted toward the older age range. So you're looking at your typical baby boomer type client. And really, one of the reasons that this is focused on these clients is really they've unfortunately not done a great job of estimating or getting a better idea of how much their healthcare expenses are going to be in retirement. The average 65-year-old couple is looking at anywhere between $300,000 and $500,000 of healthcare expenses within their retirement years. So it's a very large number, and many people just don't realize how big that number is going to be. And that's a healthy couple. If they happen to have a lot of other issues or current health issues, obviously that number could be very much higher. They also have a tendency to ignore the costs of possible extended care. Amazingly, 46% of people believe that Medicare will cover long-term care for them. And as you well know, I mean, the only way that that's going to happen is actually through Medicaid. And in order to get to that, they're going to have to basically be destitute. So you're looking at a situation where a great deal of the clients that you may be working with just don't realize that the cost of care in retirement could potentially not be covered in the way that they thought it would be, or that they would have to basically have no assets in order to qualify for Medicaid. And then finally, they're not setting their affairs in order. They haven't had that conversation with their family of what would happen or what they would want to happen for their end of life care, or if they were to need care within like a nursing home or at home. So they haven't had those discussions, and it's really put a strain on many folks that are dealing with these situations, especially the kids. And they've probably, chances are, many of these baby boomers themselves have dealt with it even with their own parents. If their own parents are still with us, which they quite possibly are, then they're in that situation where they're helping to take care of their parents, or they're helping to deal with these issues that they may not have addressed either. So it's really important to make sure that you're having the conversation with your clients about these issues. Here's a good reason why. One of the retirees regularly spend time caring for a loved one. That almost certainly falls on the women. They are the ones that are most likely going to be taking care of their spouse, because they're most likely to live longer than their husband, and they're more likely to have less issues than their husband early on. So they're going to live longer, and then they're going to end up probably caring for their spouse. So that really puts a burden on them. And you can see that even today, more than 55% of parents expect their children will take care of them. That's an interesting number. I mean, if you were to ask me if I thought I would be taking care of my parents if something were to happen, I can guarantee you I haven't had that conversation with them. They both are in a position now where they're well into retirement, and they're essentially in that position where I have an idea now, but that was only because they actually went through and did the process of a will. But most people don't know if their parents expect them to take care of them. So that's a conversation that needs to be had, because if the parents do expect it, then they need to have that conversation and have a good understanding with their kids of what to expect and what is likely to happen if they need the care itself. So a lot of times people are going to wonder, well, where the asset's going to come from. This number absolutely blew me away. There's over 19 trillion on the sidelines. Broken down, that's about $12 trillion that are in CDs and savings accounts. $12 trillion sitting in CDs and savings accounts. So that is an absolutely obscene number. About 4.4 trillion of that is sitting in checking accounts and other cash alternatives. So that's a very big number. And there's another 2-3 trillion in there. I think Bill sits on all that underneath his mattress at home. But there's just a lot of money on the sidelines. Many times when we're having that conversation with clients, most people, I mean, you know what they might have as far as their assets in their retirement accounts or possibly in different investments that they have, but they don't even really think about or want to discuss the fact that they probably have cash sitting on the sidelines somewhere just for that what-if scenario. So if you're talking to your clients, this is really where the opportunity lies. With that much money sitting on the sidelines, there's really a great opportunity for you to work with your clients to find ways to put that to work for them and sort of take care of that what-if type of scenario. So with wealth care, it sort of is sort of the one-all, be-all type of solution. It provides a legacy in the form of a death benefit. It provides access to funds in the form of the return of premium option. It provides growth opportunities of both the cash value and the death benefit. And it provides chronic illness protection. So if they were to need chronic illness care or were to get a terminal illness, then they can access that those assets for those purposes. So it really is a sort of a great product in the sense of it provides a great deal of flexibility for your clients. And that's really what this is about. That's what a lot of clients are looking for, is that flexibility and the ability for it to do multiple things for them. So really, the fact that it is a guaranteed product, it is IUL based. However, there is a full guarantee on it. So it's not going to lapse once it's been purchased. So that's a great feature of it. And really having that access to the funds, that's really the kicker for this product. I think that full return of premium at any time is something that's really important, because it really gives the clients that comfort of knowing that, okay, if I did need to get to it for some reason, or my needs just change and I just want to get access to the cash, then this is a great solution for them, because it gives them that flexibility. Whereas something like, say, an annuity, you might end up having issues with surrender charges. There's not going to be that problem with this solution. So let's take a quick look at a couple of examples here. This is on Bill and Jennifer. They're both age 65. They're both considered preferred non-tobacco. I'll get into sort of how the underwriting classes work for this once we go through the example. And they have about 1.3 million of liquid assets. Really, their concerns are making sure that they're taken care of in retirement if something were to happen to them. Jennifer, her mother, has gone through long-term care and has had those needs. So, I mean, she understands the value of having a solution that can provide some of that chronic illness coverage for her. So it's really important for them to have that coverage in place, but they also want to make sure they continue to have that liquidity and that have the ability to get the money if they were to need it. That's really something that's more of a comfort level for them. So for Bill, what we're going to do is we're going to take $100,000 and we're going to put it into a wealth care policy. At the beginning of year one, you're going to see two columns here, one that says guaranteed and one current. On the guaranteed side, the first year you're looking at $211,000 of immediate death benefit. At the end of year 20 on the guaranteed side, you'll see that it says $166,000. If you were to recall, some of you may have used our previous product. It was called the Fixed Index Single Premium Whole Life. What happens is that because of corridor, we have to have the death benefit be a little bit higher early on, and then it levels off. And again, this is on the guaranteed side. So at worst, and this would be an absolute worst case scenario, because when I say worst case, it would mean that there has been absolutely zero growth, which is pretty much impossible, because even if it's sitting in the declared account, it's earning interest. But worst case scenario, you'd be looking at a death benefit of 166. On the current side, we're putting this into our global multi-index option. And what you're seeing there, obviously, end of year 1, about 214 of death benefit, and at the end of year 20, 241,000 of death benefit. So it's growing at a pretty good clip. And you can see if they were to cancel at any time, obviously, they can get the $100,000 back. And based on the current assumption, you're looking at potentially 185,000 at the end of that 20 years. So very, very healthy growth that's occurring in this solution. As compared to our old solution, that fixed index single premium product that we had before, this one actually outperforms it. So that's definitely a plus, which we like to see as far as the cash value growth and the death benefit growth on the product. And then next, we want to look at the chronic illness benefits that are available to them. The way it works for the solution is that the chronic illness benefit is paid out over a 48-month period. So you take the amounts that you see in the parentheses there, and you divide that by 48, and those monthly amounts are what you would receive. So let's take a look at the current side. From day 1, you're looking at $3,949 at the end of year 20, which would be the client's age 85. You'd be looking at potentially $4,551 a month for 48 months. Over that period of time, that would be a cumulative total of $216,000. That's what those parentheses amounts are, as the cumulative totals. So it's a very healthy benefit that could be potentially brought out. And what happens is that even if you were to spend, let's say you use that full $216,000 of death benefit as chronic advancement, you're still going to have a $25,000 death benefit. There's always a remainder death benefit. Even if you were to use all of the chronic illness benefit that's available to you, you're still going to have a death benefit of $25,000. So it's enough to pay for those final expenses, those burial expenses. So it's really a great solution for those clients, and really gives them that flexibility that they want. For Jennifer, well, she's in a better position, really, because Jennifer is a female, and with life insurance, as you well know, females get a little bit better deal on life insurance, so she gets a little bit more death benefit. You can see here that for her, the death benefit in the first year is a little bit higher, and then obviously end of year 20 is also higher as well. The cash value is also a little bit better, because again, the cost of insurance for her is a little bit less, so she's able to get more benefit. And then finally for her, again, we're seeing on the chronic illness side that she can access quite a bit for that. At the end of year 20 for her, you're looking at $4,930 a month, or a total cumulative of about $236,000. In order to access that, as you can see on the page here, it's 2 of 6 activities of daily living that she would be unable to perform, or severe cognitive impairment. So either one of those will get them access. The great thing about this solution is the fact that with that chronic illness, we only require them to qualify once. So once they have the 2 of 6 activities of daily living they're unable to perform, and they've had that for at least 90 days, they can start accessing that benefit. Most carriers, what they will do is that they actually require annual recertification. Once you've qualified for ours that one time, we never ask for any proof of continued issues. So most companies, again, will require annual recertification 1 year after they've started paying benefits. We do not do that. So they will be able to receive benefits pretty much throughout without having to provide any additional proof once they've officially submitted the claim. And the claims process for us is really, really simple. It literally is 2 pages to get that chronic illness or terminal illness benefit. 1 page is completed by the client, 1 page is completed by their doctor certifying that they have the 2 of 6 or severe cognitive impairment. So it's a very easy process. I've seen some of the claim forms for some of these similar products. I've also seen claim forms and worked with solutions like, say, like Lincoln's MoneyGuard or Pacific Life Premier Care. It is a much more rigorous process that is involved with getting access to those benefits. So it is very nice that this is a simple process. So from a growth perspective, you have some different options. This is a new for us. We have basically 4 different index options that are available to you. The base one, and you can see here at the top, we have a 2.5% declared rate strategy, 8% S&P cap, and a 65% global multi-index. If you're familiar with Sagicor at all, which I hope you are, but even if you're not, we try to keep this very simple from an index perspective. We have just 2 indexes that we use, the S&P 500, which is what the majority of folks use these days, and then we also have our global multi-index. The global multi-index actually is probably our most popular option because the opportunity there is usually much greater. With this solution, we also added an additional 2 options, one with a greater cap of 12% on the S&P and then an 80% participation rate on the global multi-index. In order to get that, there is a 1% annual account value charge. So there is a charge coming out. However, there's obviously still not any possibility of them losing any money to market conditions, but there is that 1% charge, so that can drag on the policy value. However, even with that 1% charge, let's say you, for some reason, you chose one of those options, and you did 0% every single year for 30 years, you still have a guaranteed policy. You're not going to lose the policy, or there's not going to be any drag to the policy as far as it potentially lapsing because of that 1% charge that's coming out. And again, that would be, I don't know if that could ever really happen, because honestly, you're never going to see like 20 straight years of 0% or negative returns on the markets. So that's sort of the way to look at that. But that is a great feeling, is that knowing that you do have a guaranteed policy, even if you did choose that option to buy up for the index. So again, these are what it looks like, S&P 500 index. And then on the right, you see our global multi-index. I really like it because you get the combination of the S&P 500, you get the Euro Stoxx 50 at 30%, and then you get the Hang Seng at 20%. A good way to look at this, and this is why I think this is a great option, is really the fact that you're getting that diversification. So if for some reason the S&P 500 index doesn't do well, maybe the Hang Seng is doing well, or maybe the Euro Stoxx is doing well. So you have sort of 3 things that are keeping you hopefully moving toward a bigger positive. So it's really a great option for most folks. And again, with the par strategy on that, there being no cap to it, potentially you can receive a much greater income later, or not income, but much greater cash growth later on. And again, with the way it works with this product, the death benefit, as it grows, or the cash value grows, that amount is what is the amount that's going to be used to accelerate the for chronic illness or terminal illness. So this is where it comes down as far as the way this solution works from a benefits perspective for that chronic illness or terminal illness. As a lot of you know, most of the solutions out there, or a lot of the solutions, are long-term care based, which are basically 7702B riders. And they are reimbursement, meaning that you need to submit bills in order to receive benefits, or submit receipts in order to receive reimbursement. Ours is indemnity, meaning that we don't require any receipts. So once you qualify and you've submitted your claim, once you start receiving that, you're good to go. It's a check in the mailbox. So very simple process, makes things very easy. The reason that's important is really for that second thing under the benefits covered. In highlighted there and in the parentheses, I put pays family and friends for providing informal care. A great deal of care does come from family members and or friends. With a reimbursement style rider, they are not going to be able to pay those informal caregivers, and that's huge. Most people, if they can, they'll prefer to stay in home, and if they can, they would love to have friends or family take care of them. So if you do have the kid, their son or daughter that has said, yes, I'll help take care of you, maybe that son or daughter is working. This gives them the opportunity to be able to pay that informal caregiver. So even if they were to lose wages because of work, then maybe they could still receive something, and it makes the the parents feel good because they're not completely putting their kids in a bad situation as far as income is concerned. So that's a really big thing to remember with this type of solution. There is no upfront cost with ours. There is a $250 administrative fee that's subtracted from the first payment. So if the first payment is $4,000, then the amount they would receive on that first loan would be $3,750. With most of the companies that are out there, the riders add additional costs to the solution. So it's just something to be aware of. What's neat about this solution too is that there is no additional underwriting for this chronic illness rider, meaning that we're not doing any morbidity underwriting for this. When you look at solutions with most companies, especially as you get over age 70, most companies, even on those long-term care or chronic illness riders that they have, require a senior supplement. Most of the times that senior supplement comes in the form of a telephone interview, or it comes in the form of a get up and go exam. So there's additional things that they might have to do in order to be able to get that rider. And obviously, as you know, with solutions like such as MoneyGuard, it literally is a telephone interview and a cognitive test that they do over the telephone. Those interviews last anywhere between 45 minutes and an hour. With our solution, you will never have a telephone interview. That will never become an issue for your clients. That doesn't mean that you can submit clients that have cognitive issues or have issues that would be notated in their doctor's records. But just be aware that it makes this process so much simpler for your clients, because they can really be at ease knowing that they don't have to do a telephone interview and that this is a much simpler process for them. And a great thing about this as well is that this is not a long-term care rider, meaning that you do not have to be health licensed or have an LTC license. Certain states like North Carolina require an actual specific LTC license. Because this is not a long-term care rider, we do not require that. So this is just as long as you have your life license, that you can sell this solution. So issue ages for this product: 18 to 85 for our preferred class, and then 18 to 80 for our standard class. As most of you would probably know, especially when you're underwriting insurance, you would probably say, okay, I want to sort of hedge my bets and say I'm going to quote this at standard. With this solution, you do want to quote preferred. Basically, the reason for that is that our preferred basically goes to table 4. So the majority of folks that you're going to be working with are going to be using this solution at the preferred underwriting class. So make sure when you are quoting this that you are quoting it at preferred. If there's a risk that you want to have us check out, feel free to either go through Bill or Joe, and they can contact us to see if it's worthwhile to find out what type of issue it is, and to see if it's something that we would be able to underwrite up to that table 4. But if it's for that standard class, that is a table 5 and 6. So it only includes those 2 classes. Again, guaranteed return of premium on day 1, guaranteed death benefit. Another nice thing about this is that as compared to our old product, you can accelerate up to $500,000. Previously, our old solution was a max of $250,000. So this one, it is $500,000 is the max that could come out. Or in this situation, as we were showing on the previous examples, it's the death benefit minus $25,000. So that would be the max they could take out. So chronic illness benefit trigger 2 of 6, and the severe cognitive impairment and terminal trigger is 12 months or less to live. For the terminal, that is paid out as a lump sum rather than monthly, which obviously makes sense because it's 12 months or less to live. The way this works, this is part of our accelerating program, which is really cool. With the accelerating program, you can see here what we do is we base it on the net amount at risk. So say, for example, Bill and Jennifer that we had in this, $100,000 goes in. Let's say their death benefit is $200,000. The net amount at risk in that example is $100,000 because they had $100,000 in cash. The death benefit is $200,000, so that's the net amount at risk. So if it falls within these net amounts at risk, it will fall into our accelerating program, meaning they're not going to have to do that telephone interview. They're most likely not going to have to do a paramed or APS. However, with this solution, because we know it's mostly positioned toward the older age clients, there is a possibility that we could ask for a paramed exam or APSs. The way it works typically is that we will go for APSs first if we do need it, and then we would request a paramed exam. But that is potentially something that could happen with this. And again, we would notify you, we would notify Levinson to let them know that, hey, we need to go out and get an APS because we want to underwrite this person, but from what we can see right now, we really need to get more information. So that's something to think about, but it is a very easy process for them. Again, no telephone interview, no senior supplement exam. Make it easy for your clients, especially as compared to some of those other solutions that are out there. So who are your prospects for this? Well, I mean, we talked about that $19 trillion sitting on the sidelines. That's really where this solution is really looking for those types of clients. Another is clients with existing cash value life insurance. If you have those clients, and most of those clients, if they do have cash value life insurance, they might not have a solution that has chronic illness advancement. This could be a great opportunity for those clients to get something that is an additional benefit for them that provides a living benefit, whereas their current solution may not have that. So if that's something that's a concern for them, that could be a great opportunity. Another one, and this is down toward the bottom there, really, if they have a family member that has needed some sort of care in the past, this is a great solution to talk about because, again, it gives you that opportunity to go in there with the multi-solution platform that really can provide a ton of benefit for your clients. And then, honestly, we've seen a lot of this recently with the clients that actually have traditional long-term care, or maybe they have a money guard. One I saw just recently was the One America. Somebody had the One America Asset Care product. They were looking for additional coverage, but they wanted something that had that return of premium or had that ability to get their cash back. This is a great solution for that, or in addition to that, because it gives them that flexibility, whereas, say, that One America product really, it potentially could be able to get their cash back, but that is not a day one return of premium product. So it is really something that if they're looking for additional ways to provide some additional coverage for themselves on the chronic illness side, or they want that flexibility, this is a great solution for them. So really, to recap, 5 points to remember. People want that retirement security and flexibility. This solution really provides that in the form of that legacy, liquidity, and living benefits. So legacy in the form of death benefit, liquidity in the form of the return of premium for day one, and the living benefits via the chronic illness or terminal acceleration. Our application is simple. It's online. It's available to you through the Levinson website. So we make it simple. That claims process, I can't stress how important that can be for your clients. We want to make it simple for them. Our process is simple. Again, no health or LTC license required. And again, I have to keep saying it, $19 trillion of cash assets sitting on the sideline. So really the opportunity is there for this solution to be a great fit for a lot of your clients that look for that flexibility, that look for that security that a solution like this can provide. So this sort of to wrap up this part, I did want to touch on a couple things that Bill and Joe asked me to mention. Our accelerating process, did just sort of want to talk about that in a little more depth, and then we'll wrap things up. From the accelerating perspective, again, it's really that simplicity that goes into this process. The no telephone interview, as Bill mentioned when he was or Joe mentioned when he was looking at some of those different carriers that were on that screen, like Lincoln is one of them. Great company, fantastic company. Their process, it requires a telephone interview. Those interviews, it might take 2 to 3 weeks to get set up. With us, that's not going to be an issue. You submit that application online, and potentially you can get that quick decision. As we said, about 35% of those applications are approved within 2 minutes, and about 80% of our applications have an underwriting decision within 5 days. So it's a very easy process. It's a simple process, makes their life much easier. We do obviously offer policy e-delivery as well, so that can certainly speed up the process as to how fast you can get these done. One thing I'll say as well is we do pay daily commissions. We're not paying once a week or once a month type of solution. So once your policy is settled, we pay the commissions, and those go out that same day. Well, it depends on what time of day, but you know what I mean by that. For our Sage term, again, as we were talking about before, up to $1 million of death benefit, it falls into the accelerating limits. You can see there the ages that basically are set up there to that 1,750,000 and 500. And that, as Bill mentioned, is not just for like a standard table 4 type of offer, that goes up to a preferred plus. So that's very important. That makes us very competitive in this arena, because again, we are doing full underwriting. However, you're not going to have to hopefully go through that complete process of getting parameds or APSs. We do reserve the right to ask for them, but it's literally about 5% of cases where we actually ask for an APS and or paramed exam. So something definitely to remember. And then you can see our fully underwritten as well. If you go over those amounts, that's what we would be looking at for fully underwritten, which would be the normal process that you would expect from a fully underwritten contract. Our Sage IUL, again, this is one of the solutions that we're offering a 15% commission bonus on through the end of June. Great solution. It is a very simple product in the sense of it's not going to be a lot of flash. A lot of the companies out there, especially on the index side, have been throwing out a lot of huge bonuses and multipliers on those solutions, making it a little bit more difficult to understand. I mean, and it's not for you, the agent, that has that concern. It's really the client, and making sure they understand what they're selling. Those can be great solutions, but you really have to be careful and know what you're selling. With our solution, it's those same 2 different options, the S&P 500 index and the global multi-index. We make it very simple. It's not a lot of flash, but it does a great job of building cash value and building strong cash value. So it's a very good solution for your clients if they are looking for an index product. We do a fair amount of the overfunded solutions, basically doing replacements to IRAs or 401ks, that type of thing, where they're looking for additional retirement savings and they've maxed out everything they already have the ability to do, like the IRA or the 401k, and they're looking for additional ways to save. This can be a great solution for those clients. And again, with that additional 15% commission bonus, it certainly doesn't hurt. And then finally, I want to just sort of show our no-lapse universal life product. I can't stress enough about this product that we are exceptionally well priced. This is a single premium comparison that I put together. I put it together last Monday. For a female age 65 with a $100,000 single premium. You can see where we are with this. We are way better benefits as compared to our competitors in this space right now. We are anticipating toward the end of the year repricing this product. Unfortunately, repricing in this situation does not mean that we are going to get better price. We're actually going to probably come back in line with the rest of the world, because again, in this example, you're looking at a 20% difference in death benefit as compared to our closest competitor. So take advantage of this solution while you can with that 15% commission bonus, because these are prices that are fantastic. And this goes for males as well. I didn't show a male in this circumstance, but our male prices are just as good on the single pay. I also, on this next page, I did include a 10-pay comparison as well. Again, we are exceptionally well priced on the 10-pay. And if you look at a level pay, we're still going to be right there at number 1, number 2, depending on the age of the client. These were all run at standard. It's pretty funny when you run us at like other carriers at preferred, like let's say Symetra, chances are their preferred might not even beat our standard from a pricing perspective. So just be aware that we have an exceptionally well-priced solution in this space right now. And really the opportunity there with this solution right now is really in the area of talking to clients about the more efficient way to pass assets. As you well know, with the Secure Act that passed and went into effect on January 1st, the non-spouse beneficiaries of retirement accounts of 401ks or IRAs now have to distribute those assets within 10 years. So that means that if they had a $500,000 IRA, they're going to have to distribute that if it's a non-spouse beneficiary within that 10-year period. Well, this could be an option for them. Get the client to talk about or think about the idea of this is what happens when those assets are passed to the next generation and they have to pay the taxes on that as it comes out over that 10 years or all as one lump sum. If this is the situation, maybe they take distributions or maybe they take R&Ds and they use that to fund a life insurance policy via like a 10-pay or a 15-pay. and use that to fund a life insurance policy that does an efficient transfer of wealth. So really create that benefit that is coming out. And that's an opportunity right now for any non-spouse beneficiaries. That is really something that needs to be talked about with those clients, because that's an opportunity that is certainly has been created with the Secure Act. And I think it's a new opportunity to go back and talk to them about the most efficient way to transfer assets. So really take the opportunity to go back to your clients and have that conversation. And probably the easiest way to do that is to really simply ask the question of, have you done a review of your current beneficiary or your IRA beneficiaries? So if it's their spouse, fantastic, but then who's the basically the contingent beneficiary if that spouse is no longer there? So having that conversation of planning and finding the best way to make sure that those assets are passed in the most efficient manner possible. Again, 15% commission incentive on the no lapse IUL and no lapse UL and IUL to the end of June. So take advantage of those opportunities, because we really think we have a great solution there, and we're hopefully going to be paying out some additional commissions to you guys. All right, guys, Bill, Joe, that's it for me.
Good stuff.
Any questions? Yes.
Yep. So what we're going to do, any questions, just call us or email us. If we need to get Scott on a conference call, we can do that as well. But that was awesome. So real quick, we got 8 minutes left, and I want to try to get all of this information in, and then our giveaway at the end. We're going to end right before 3 p.m. Eastern. So if you are currently contracted with Sagicor, maybe through another IMO, obviously you can transfer to us. We match or beat most of the time your existing grid, plus you'll get free leads with your first app and take advantage of all the incentives and the scholarship program. Speaking of that, this is a great hook, a great value add that will give you the opportunity to not only talk about life insurance, right, but also talk about college tuition and college planning for your client's children or grandchildren. This is a free add-on. It doesn't cost you or the client a penny. All right, Joe's going to dive in a little more. Sagicor is one of our main carriers that is qualified on the program. Joe, you want to dive in, and then we'll take it from there?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So the scholarship program really kind of helps differentiate you from other agents in the field. And I think, being able to also go back to existing clients and show them how you can save them up to 25% of the tuition cost each year for 4 years at over 413 colleges across the country really kind of sets the stage and really kind of gets them to kind of pique their interest and kind of diversify the conversation. So we've got all sorts of resources here, including a website, email marketing templates, direct mail marketing pieces. You'll see Sagicor is one of our featured companies that participates in that scholarship platform. We also have a dedicated page on the Levinson website just for the scholarship platform. You can access agent materials, consumer flyers, even just having a conversation with a client about the program gets them $500 off the tuition cost. And get this, if they refer you someone, they get additional 500 points. So just for talking to them and asking for a great referral that might be interested in either the Sagicor products or the scholarship platform, they're going to get $1,000 off of that tuition rate for actually up to every single 4 year. They can get up to 25% off each year for 4 years. So at the end of 4 years, they've saved an entire year of tuition costs. And a lot of people are facing student debt and being able to, or forced to pay that off over multiple years. So being able to save any of that tuition that they can right now, I think is extremely important. So really kind of opens the doors for all sorts of new marketing campaigns. We have digital marketing, online marketing, all sorts of social media posts, really kind of helps broaden that conversation. To get started, just go to the Levinson website, click on the marketing tab. We have a complete page dedicated to the scholarship platform. You can watch the training video and enroll. We also have a client self-enrollment portal. So the best part is you don't have to sit there and log in all of your clients. You basically send them a link with your agent code. They can self-enroll, and now you have all their information. And the best part is as they add additional beneficiaries, additional referrals, those all go back to you as the agent. So really kind of strengthening that client-agent relationship.
Okay, good stuff, Joe. We are just about done. I want to mention a couple things just in. First of all, they just added 2 more colleges in the scholarship program. So that's another great hook and another way to get back in. And remember, you sell a Sagicor policy, right? You literally email your client the link to sign up. They go on your site, put in their name, email, address, and they hit enroll, and you're done, and they are done. And now every year they're going to get an email from Sage, the scholarship program company, with your name on it. So what does that do? It keeps your name in front of your clients forever. And even if their child doesn't use the program, it's good for any blood relative. They can transfer the points. Okay, real quick, our live trainings weekly. So this is what I was talking about earlier. No more excuses, okay? If you're 17 or 77 or 86, it doesn't make a difference. You need to leverage social media and technology. I said it 3 times today. So every single day of the week, 2 p.m. Eastern, you pick a different topic you want to dive into, and it's an open forum. So you can ask questions, and then Kevin, our programmer, will answer live on these calls. Legacy Armor, another great hook, another free tool. By being a Levinson agent, you get full access. That's the online safe deposit box where your clients can keep all of their life insurance policy, annuities, secret passwords, last wishes. And then when they pass on, their beneficiaries are automatically notified. So they now get access to the platform and see every single thing that Aunt Betty wanted her grandchild to see when Aunt Betty passes away. And also, every time they log in to make a change, your name and picture is on the platform. So another great hook. Every Wednesday at 2 p.m., we have these live trainings for Legacy Armor. On the bottom, we just launched the new Annuity Genius software. So this is a great tool. If you're selling annuities, you need to be on this call on the 27th, 2 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss that. It's the Annuity Genius exclusive software program. Okay, our live lead transfer programs are also taking off. This is another program only available to Levinson agents. $25 for a live transfer lead, minimum order of 15. Ian is our basically like a proof of concept agent that we find out the great programs that are available. We let Ian try it out. If Ian says, hey, it works, great. Well, Ian just sent this testimonial in yesterday. This is from our live transfer lead program. I want to share this real quick. A nice lady in Virginia purchased an expensive final expense whole life product for $100,000 last year. We know these final expense products could be crazy. At first, I assumed it was a guaranteed issue product. However, it wasn't. The carrier also sells an overpriced whole life product with no exam. She only takes blood pressure meds. She's a little overweight, so I placed her with a GUL for $200 a month. She had no issue completing the free screening. I was able to save her almost half of what she's paying currently. And now the exam is set up for March 3rd. Okay, he got this lead from the live transfer program. It's unbelievable. Okay, he's going to make a fortune from a $15 lead. And this is just the beginning. He's got others, but I always ask him to share the stories. Anyway, if you're interested in the live transfer lead program, let us know. It's a great way to get your foot in the door and share your story. Okay, let's move forward here. And what I want to do now real quick is ask the question of the day. So make sure your fingers are on the keys. You are ready to go. The first one that answers correctly wins your choice of the Amazon Echo or tablet. The question is, Joe's going to post it now. On the Bill Levinson Experience, who is the next guest speaker that I'm going to feature in March? I mentioned his name in the beginning of the presentation. Whoever answers first wins. Joe, do we have a winner?
Yes, the winner is Carolyn A. from Washington.
Carolyn A. from Washington. Congratulations. I'm going to end with our Positive Tuesday quote. Oh, also, you know what? I just forgot. If you leave a comment on our Facebook page or on the Bill Levinson Experience podcast channel, I want to know what you thought about it. You get a free, we have these Ask Me About free scholarship pins that all of our agents wear in supermarkets or at their kids' games. I'll send you one for free, or the new IUL prospecting book, your choice. We're going to end with our quote, circles become cages when your friends' actions and goals aren't in line with yours. Surround yourself with positivity. With that said, have a great rest of the week, a good weekend, great selling. Make sure you're registered for the April 3rd Expo, and thank you again.